I know a lot of people want to know where does Bud Crawford fall at as far as all time. People talking about Mount Rushmore. I mean, you got a couple lists. You're talking about obviously the list of pound for pounds and the overall all-time great list. And when you start looking at it, really it's hard to compare people from eras. We started talking about just, top fighters. I feel like Joe Louis get left off some people's list. I think he should be very high on that list for what he did. Longest reigning heavyweight champ of all time. I think you can't pull out the top 10. Realistically, he should be in the top 5. We talking about, the cultural impact to the sport, not just a black culture or white culture, cultural impact. You talking about guys like Muhammad Ali, Jack Johnson, Joe Louis. You talking about those guys. Then you get into guys that people don't talk about: Jack Timsey, Gary Tooney. You start getting guys like Rocky Marciano. So it's a lot of very important, people just in the heavyweight division. The adversity that Larry Holmes fought through. You go through the 90s, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield. I had to put a story up about Shannon Briggs, and he made a case that Holyfield is the greatest heavyweight of all time. He fought so many fucking wars. He fought everybody. Talk about other guys that climbed up to, multiple weight class. James Toney, Roy Jones. So it's a lot of great fighters. And really, when people have these lists, your biasness or your favoritism is always going to lean towards a particular fighter. Even when you start talking about pound for pound, Max Kellerman put it out there that Manny Pacquiao, but, he was a great pound for pound. You talking about guys like Aaron Pryor, Alexis Arguello, historically, Felix Trinidad went up to a super middleweight. Oscar De La Hoya went up to middleweight. Pernell Whitaker, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., Azuma Nelson, Salvador Sanchez, who beat Azuma Nelson at the MSG early in, Azuma Nelson's career. Didn't deter his career. Rest in peace to Salvador Sanchez. I mean, it's great. Juan Marquez, Eric Morales, Marcus Barreras. Even guys that you don't think of who was very fun to watch. Lucas Matias, Marcos Madonna, Ruslan Provodnikov, Arturo. It's just so many people. When you start listing guys, just what you really, really like as far as some of the best fights I've seen live, and obviously I'm in a different era, they had nothing to do with, top fighters, bro. Like, nothing to do with top fighters, Provodnikov, Algeria was a great fight. Matias and what's the brother, John Molina. John Molina was always in fun fights. John Molina knocking out Henry fuck nigga Hank Lundy. What was the one where Zepeda fought the Branch nigga? That was a great fight. It was a bunch of great fights, historically, man. Paul Williams, Antonio Margarito, that was a good fight. His 2 fights with Sergio Martinez. Martinez piecing up Kelly Pavlik and taking middleweight supremacy. So this has been great fights. Tim Bradley, Kendall Hall. So it's all for different strokes for different folks. So when you talk about Mount Rushmore, I think people should just really talk about their favorite fighters. Their favorite fighters. It's hard to compare eras, man. And when I say, if I had to be real, and me being somewhat of a student of the game, knowing, Henry Armstrong get off a lot of people's lists. Hagler very talking about the underappreciated list. Crawford, I mean, he's on that underappreciated list. He really is. He's on that underappreciated list with Larry Holmes and Marvin Hagler. I mean, that's something that's underappreciated guys. You got guys that people forget to talk about: Jake LaMotta, Cameron Brasilio, Sugar Ray Robinson. I mean, just so many phenomenal fighters, man. Even guys that, another good fight was Alvarado and Brandon Rios. They had a couple with 2 or 3 good fights. So it's interesting, man. But as far as, top 10, I mean, yeah, it's hard. Who you going to push out of there? You talking about guys that's in there, Pernell, Duran, Marvin Hagler, especially if you're just talking overall heavyweights. They're so important to the trajectory or the post of boxing. So, I mean, but what he done, I mean, Henry Armstrong get left off a lot of those lists. Archie Moore get left off. So it's hard to consolidate Fighters going back, what, from the late 1800s, early 1900s to now. It's hard to consolidate that. When you to face your era, it's cool, because guess what? What's so funny, I was talking to somebody at my job, and he was like, it's crazy that Durant and Harden and them ain't win a championship, but this OKC team with Shea won one. You can't tell me that this team with Shea will beat the Harden team. It's hard to compare eras, baby. You know, who you beat to get there. I mean, of course, Durant and Harden, they'd be champions today. And that Thunder, the Westbrook would probably be champions last year in the NBA. But it don't go that way, man. They were young and getting it, but they didn't win it. Shea was young and getting it, and they won it. So yeah, man. But yeah, it's interesting, man. Very interesting. To me, he's definitely one of my favorite fighters. In a lifetime, him, Roy, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather, I enjoy watching him. So just in my lifetime, yeah, top 5 overall. What he did was phenomenal. At 38 years old, But it's a lot of great fighters, man. Like I said, Pernell, Durant, Hagler, Hearns, Leonard, Ali, Holmes, Marciano, Joe Louis, Jack Johnson. And then the thing about it is, I was thinking about this the other day. When you sitting on top of the mountain early, your importance, you really you really can't change. Like, who come first matters, bro. No Diddy, no Harvey Weinstein, no Kevin Spacey. Pause. It matters because you lay the foundation. Everybody, that's why it's kind of hard to say somebody greater than somebody else, because you take something. Michael Jordan took something from, who was it, Michael Thompson. You take something from everybody. I ain't really never seen these niggas on the highway, but you take something from everybody. So Floyd took something from this guy. Roy took something from everybody. So when you talking about early on, the inventors or the first participators of boxing, that's crazy, because they had to do it. They had to get it how they live, and then the next era built on them and them. So to be honest, it's just about who the best of their era. We talking about top 10. It's hard, man. So many great fighters, man. Guys like Carlos Monzon and guys like Oscar De La Hoya, Marquez, Chavez. You know what I'm saying? Trinidad, Cotto. There's so many great fighters, man. Shane Mosley. So it's great. It's great fighters, man. Great fighters. Havlik was good. Jermaine Taylor was great. He took it from Bernard. Bernard Hopkins went up and still beat Tarver. Tarver was kind of late to the game. I mean, it's a lot of, you had good ones. Thomas Adamick, guys that people forget about. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't have no problem saying, people saying, well, he the GOAT, because guess what? We actually seen it in fucking 4K. You actually seen it in 4K. If you ain't, and nostalgia has a lot to do with how you feel about a particular product, person, a song. Nostalgia do go with it. You're a song like, damn, man, I remember this first came out. It has a lot to do with it. So I have no problem with people saying he the GOAT. That's, but really, it's really about eras. But there's so many phenomenal fighters. Guys like Terry Norris, Donald Curry. Mark Breland was pretty good. John David Jackson, trainer, world champion. Ronnie Shields wasn't no slouch as a fighter. Buddy McGurk wasn't no slouch as a fighter. So it's, Robert Garcia was a world champion. Talking about guys like Riddick Bowe, and it was the Klitschko brothers. Can't say greatness without them, to be honest. George Foreman, rest in power. Joe Frazier, rest in power. It was just, so many. I used to love. That's how I learned so much about boxing, was, watching the documentaries and going back and watching the fights. Andre Ward, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention him. Great fighter. And the reason the heavyweights get so much bump on the list is because heavyweight is what drives the sport of boxing. The only person that took the power away from the heavyweight, the first person that took the power away from the heavyweights, it was Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard was the first one that he really was the creator of pound for pound list. He really put like he really popularized it. He really put the lower weight classes on the pedestal. And remember, it wasn't no down era like Floyd claimed, where it was the boring Klitschko era. You know, and it wasn't boring because the Klitschko was just per se. It was just nobody else was any fucking good. You know, and I don't want to put all that on them. But Sugar Ray Leonard, so that importance kind of cements him on, to a minimum of something. Top 10. His importance. He put money in the lower weight classes. He put popularity on the lower weight classes. So I think people need to know that. So, but yeah, Crawford, he was goated before he walked in this fight. Even more goated now. He's one of the greatest fighters that I've seen. The greatest fighter that I seen while they was alive and ticking in their prime, for me, was Roy Jones Jr. That's just my opinion. But Bud can beat anybody, bro. He's skilled, technical. You ain't gonna just outbox him. You ain't gonna outbang him. Like when you fight Bernard, you can outbox Bernard. That's why Bernard ain't really like fighting boxers. Like that's why he struggled with Roy Jones and shit like that. But that's all I pretty much had to say. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. That subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live drop video. Hit the link tree, find me everywhere. Peace.